Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. It's 8 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. Today, Shriman and Sridhar are going to be leading our kirtan. So, Shriman and Sridhar, please take it away.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Yati Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Mandakadi Chakarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Mandakadi Chakarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gauravandavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radha Nandavaya, Radha Nandavaya, Radhe, Jaya Radha Nandavaya, Radha Nandavaya, Jaya Radha Ramana, Radha Ramana, Radhe, Jaya Radha Tagore, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Tagore, Hari Bol, Tagore, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya
Thank you, Sridhar. Yashomati Nandana Rajabaranagada Gokula Ranjana Kana Yashomati Nandana Brajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara
Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara
Kaliya Damana Vidana
Kaliya Damana Vidhana
Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa
Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagaravara
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagarabara
Vamsi Vadana Suvasa
Vamsi Badana Suvasa
Braja Janapalana Surakulanasana
Braja Janapalana Surakulanasana
Nanda Godana Rakovala
Nanda Godana Rakovala
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara
Sundara Nanda Gopala
Sundarananda Gopala
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanara
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Basanahara
Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya
Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara
Bhakti Vinoda Chaya
Bhakti Vinoda Shraya. Translation. Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the transcendental lover in the land of Vraja, the delight of Gokula, Kana, the wealth of the lives of the gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent. These pure holy names of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastimes. Krishna is the Lord of the 12 forests of Vraja. He is ever youthful and is the best of lovers. He is always playing on a flute, and he is an excellent dresser. Krishna is the protector of the inhabitants of Vraja, the destroyer of various demoniac dynasties, the keeper and tender of Nanda Maharaj's cows, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, the husband of the goddess of fortune, the butter thief, and the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna wanders along the banks of the river Yamuna. He stole the garments of the young damsels of Vraja who are bathing there. He delights in the mellows of the Rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the shelter and only refuge of Thakura Bhaktivinod. Hare Krishna.
So today's class will be given by His Holiness Hanwa Prashik Maharaj. So Maharaj, if you will, please take it away.
Under protest. Okay, Abhishek Singh, can you be the chief goose?
I can try, Maharaj, but I'm driving, so we'll just keep that in mind.
Well, that's good. You can drive with rhythm. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihani.
Gopi Jana Bala Bhagiri Varadari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari.
Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yamuna Tira Van Achari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
So if we can stay with Krishna, then we won't have any problems. Well, unless you want to hang on to your clothes. Okay, Krishna may steal your clothes. Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, pretty good. But the problem is that Krishna is not a straightforward God like Allah or Jehovah. Yeah. He's Jamunatira Vana Achari. He's very irregular, spontaneous, going here and there. So this is the entire lesson of the Bhagavatam. Please repeat. Ete cha amsa sakalaha Krishna. Ete changsa. Ete changsa. Sakala. Sakala. Krishna. Krishna. Ete changsa sakala Krishna. Okay. So Krishna is, we're talking about Krishna's two, Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavan Swayam. It's the end of all the driving and traveling and transportation and education, everything else. Bhagavan Swayam. Directly himself, Bhagavan, the goal of everything. He has all the money. He has all the guns. He has all the intelligence. He has all the beauty. Yeah, yeah. And fame. And also he's the coolest guy. He's the most cool dude. Pronounced. There's one. I remember when I was in Chicago, there was one drama play in the black area, a little bit famous. The title was "Honey, Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with God." It's a nice way to put it. Brother, your arms are too short to box with God. This is Bhagavan. But not only Bhagavan, but Swayam Bhagavan, his own self-situated, self-generated, self-created God. Yeah. You can't compete with Swayam Bhagavan. Yeah. So maybe let's see if I can I share my screen here? No, you won't let you. Okay. Yeah, we can. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. There we go. Oh, it's kind of boring. Okay, there's Hanuman talking to Sita. Okay. Yeah. So Swayam Bhagavan. This verse is the Paribhasa Sutra of the Srimad Bhagavatam, according to Jiva Goswami. And I think it occurs in the second chapter. Sutta Goswami is giving a large list of incarnations. Purusha avatars like Mahavishnu, Paramatma, Lila avatars like Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana, Yuga avatars, Guna avatars. And then he comes to Shakti Vesh avatars. But then he says, Ete Changsa. So Angsa, I think is like a portion. It's a portion. Ete Cha. All these are angsas, portions. Ete Changsa sa kala pumsam. And kala is even more. I think it's more detailed, more finer, like more like a limb or something like an arm. What's a portion of his body? You say, well, that's a member of his body. Oh, okay, it's more functional. So yeah, some of these are angsa, some of these are kala. Ete changsa sakala Krishna. Ete changsa sakala Krishna. Ete changsa sakala pumsam. Krishna's two Bhagavan Swayam. So it's very clear. Indrari Yakalam Lokam Mridiyanti Yuge. Yuga after yuga he comes to destroy when the world is overburdened by the enemies of Indra. Indrari Yakalam Lokam Mridiyanti Yuge. So maybe our lives are like that. Our lives are becoming overwhelmed. Our bodies, our mind, our intellect, and different incarnations are bothering us. But Krishna comes again and again. He comes as Lord Varaha, as a little pig out of Lord Brahma's nose. He shows up as a little charming dwarf, a son of Diti, and goes and steals the three worlds as this naughty little boy. Yeah. He comes as Lord Varaha. We did that already. Okay, Varaha, who else? Yeah. That's Hiranyakasipu. Lord Nrsimhadev. And Lord Nrsimhadev, he is the supreme lawyer, right? Hiranyakasipu is a perfect example of somebody who tried to write his own contract with no loopholes. So the Lord Nrsimhadev came and satisfied all the agreement, all the terms of the agreement, and still annihilated him, everything. Yeah. So you can't be a better lawyer than Lord Nrsimhadev. Yeah. So all these different, coming in different times, different places, different circumstances. But the devotees, Premanjana, Charita, Bhakti Vilochanena, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena, Santasadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti, Yam Shama Sundaram Achinta Guna Svarupam, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So the Supreme Lord, the devotees see him within their hearts as Govinda, because their eyes are fixed up in love, you know. So the gopis love Krishna so much, it doesn't matter if he dresses up like Lord Nrsimhadev, or he dresses up like Lord Baraha, or Vamanadev, you know. The devotees, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilonjanena Yan Shama Sundaram. They see that form, the Shama Sundar. So why are we in ISKCON? You know, why do the demigods want to join ISKCON? Because Lord Chaitanya's movement, there's this possibility. You can experience Lord Baraha, you can experience Ram, you can experience so many incarnations. You know? But even when Lord Chaitanya was here, you know, Durga Devi was trying to be initiated into Lord Chaitanya's movement. It's a very, very unusual opportunity. You know? And so the whole process made very, very easy by Lord Chaitanya by chant Hare Krishna as much as you can in the association of devotees, in the association of Srila Prabhupada. And so, of course, we have Prabhupada's books. He's personally present. You know? And Srila Prabhupada is manifest to some degree in his disciples. You know, if you're following his discipline, you are his disciple in that sense. You know? And if we're following to some degree, okay, we're disciple to some degree, and we're like a mirror covered with dust, you know, like steam. Then we can become like a mirror with water on it, still streaked. And finally, we can become a mirror and we can reflect Srila Prabhupada perfectly. The more we purify ourselves. Prabhupada says that Krishna is conquered by the love of those who conquer their senses. Yeah, and of course the tongue, engaging, tasting prasadam only, offering everything to Krishna first, and nice consciousness. Rules and regulations are there which will help us to do that. And then honoring prasadam, oh, these are Krishna's remnants. And by taking these, I can become very, very strong in my service, you know, for serving Krishna, my senses, my mind. I can associate with Krishna, purified by Krishna, become purified by taking prasadam, understanding who Krishna is. I can make eternal advancement. So honoring prasadam, you know, and then chanting holy names, dancing for our deities. At some point, they may come off the altar and say, no, not like that, like this. Oh, okay. So this is the world. I mean, how much money do people spend on sports? Yeah, the Olympics, isn't that dancing? How much of that is really people want to see the compositions, the movements, you know? So singing, dancing, and then taking prasad. You know? And beyond that, we may have so many specific engagements in different ways, and these are simple. You know, Prabhupada said this is not knowledge. You know, learning to be a surgeon, learning to be an accountant, learning to be an engineer. You know? This is shilpa, livelihood. It may take a little attention, but it doesn't take much. If we're devotees, we have good motivation, then we automatically sort out which things are important, simple, best ways to do it, you know, and we can acquire all these skills very nicely. Of course, we want to become very, very expert. Arjuna was very expert at his skills as a Kshatriya, using different kinds of weapons and combining them and so on like that, you know. So it's a little bit of a perspective. Ete chamsa sakal from some Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Yeah. And And this, of course, is, all manifest in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Swadama Opagate, Jnana Dharmaribi Saha, Kalo Nasta Drisha Eka Eka, Puranarko Dinoditam. Now that Krishna in his form with his body, with his flute, Shamasundar has left, and taken with him, wisdom, religiosity. He took these things. They've all gone with him. They've gone with him, rather. Okay. So people who've lost their vision due to the darkness of Kali Yuga, how many people have done that? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brothers and sisters. Yeah. We get lost in so many ways. Get lost in our work. Get lost in school. Get lost in our family. Yeah. In the Kali Yuga. Yeah. But people who've lost their vision will get light from this Purana. So we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam stories. We have to make movies into it. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is also one of Krishna's pastimes, basic principles. But more and more, we have to get to work and make dramas, paint murals, tell stories. And even when we're going here and there, we can see, this situation is just like Bhumi and Varaha or like that. And we can just take my old granddaddy used to say, in India they say, if you're an Indian body, automatically everybody thinks you're a philosopher to some degree. If you're in a black body, everybody thinks you're a basketball star. If you're in a Chinese body, everybody thinks you're a kung fu master. If you're a white body, everybody thinks that you're you're into military conquest and exploitation. Yeah, you're James Bond or else John Wayne. So you take advantage of these things. People expect a sannyasi to preach, So I shouldn't preach, people will be disturbed. They expect that. They expect to be disturbed. Oh, here's a preacher. Preacher's going to say something. Or here's a woman. She's going to be sentimental. Okay. You're a woman, people expect you to be sentimental. So start being sentimental. If you're a preacher dressed like one, then start acting like one. And if you're a doctor, then start expecting the doctor is going to tell you got to stop smoking, you got to get up early, you got to do this, you got to do that, Yeah. So somehow or other, the more we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, in so many forms, Krishna, teachings of Lord Kapila, then it has an effect. It's so nice to hear that our senses become pacified. It's by hearing it, music. You don't understand a thing. Just hear the Sanskrit being chanted by someone, nice devotee, then automatically, just playing in the subway, playing in the freeway, playing in the bus, playing in the airport, just hearing Srimad Bhagavatam being chanted musically, people ask, what is that? It's just so nice, it's so peaceful, it's so enlivening, Yeah. So the senses become purified. We become used to simpler things. We don't like this heavy and sense gratification. We don't like horror movies. And then after that, the mind starts to understand the beautiful ideas, the logic, the expressions. It finally starts to touch our heart, and then we can start to appreciate the poetry of it, which is more sophisticated. It incorporates the sensual facts. It incorporates many kinds of logical, middle speculation, and puts it together in the heart, which can appreciate directly the form of Krishna. So by the time we arrive at the 10th canto, we've gone through all these different angsas and kalas and Prithu Maharaj and Narada Muni with what's his name, Daksha, Aditi trying to get sacrificed to get Vamana for a child, Rohini, so many things. And we come to Krishna, we should appreciate, wow, this is so much more intense than all these previous incarnations. This is the source of everything. Yeah. And so then, what happens first? Well, first we go to Vrindavan. My gosh, first, yeah. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. We don't discuss Mathura too much. It's a little bit of Mathura first. No, it's a fact. There's enough Mathura. Before the king of the parade comes, there are many things before: actors, jugglers, people with parrots on sticks, and clowns, and so many things. The mayor in his car, pretty girls, strong men. And finally, the mayor comes, or whoever, in the cart. Maybe about 2/3 of the way back. Okay, so somehow or other, everything's there, and we're going up then to Mathura. and evil old King Kamsa and everything else, and the problems. And then we go to Goloka. It's very interesting to consider that. And there then we see the most intimate pastimes, the most confidential pastimes in Sanskrit, Ras Lila, chapter 29 to 34. We start to penetrate into those and hear the Sanskrit and stuff, and it's just so wonderful how Krishna is dealing with devotees and killing demons. Now, of course, this is his Vasudev portion, killing demons. So even when we go to Vrindavan, we're still being educated in these more basic principles. But yeah, Vasudeva is there. And so then what happens? Then Krishna, chapter 40 or something, he leaves Vrindavan. This is a whole change in consciousness where maybe we've gone to Vrindavan as tourists. We want to be able to penetrate, but we need more education. Okay, so we go back to Mathura. We've been studying that all this week. And Krishna kills the warsherman. He benedicts the florist. He benedicts Kubja. Then he kills the elephant keeper. So many things. And now we came to Kamsa's last line of defense. The ultimate principle that caused us to get into this material world, our Kamsa. Yeah. And so when Krishna and Balaram defeat the wrestlers in hand-to-hand combat, equal competitors, then there's nothing left but Kamsa. So each time we go about it, that's the whole point, that Krishna then should eliminate Kamsa, from our heart, our fundamental desire, and then Krishna becomes the king of our heart. He establishes himself as the king of Mathura, the prince. Ugrasena is there, but of course everybody loves Krishna. Yeah. So even there he doesn't become the king exactly. It's interesting. And then there's no more internal problems. Once Krishna eliminates Kamsa, he's the king of our heart. He's the king of Mathura. And then but externally things may go on. So then he actually transfers all the Mathura Vasis to Dwarka. And Dwarka is even more intense, So Krishna can become manifest as the king, the prince, even more intensely in Dwarka. And so then, of course, simultaneously, Krishna is staying in Vrindavan, but even Vrindavan, what happens? He's made himself available in an even more intense form, Lila Shmarana Swarup. His Vasudev portion and Balaram's Sankarshan portion go to Vrindavan, go to Mathura, Dwarka. But Krishna stays in Vrindavan, but now in a more intense, accessible form. Everybody knows this. Maybe as children, you saw a movie or you read a book, and you just don't want it to stop. So you're walking around and just telling the story to yourself over and over again, and adjusting it and embellishing it. So that's what's happening. We're taking events and we shmarna. We want to smart. Maybe it was something destructive. Maybe it was something good, and we want to go over it again and readjust it and retell it. And I should have told her, and she should have said. So this is what it is. Perverted reflection of the material world. But when we engage in these pastimes with Krishna in the spiritual world, they are alive and they are growing and they are changing. And Prabhupada would say things that were never in the Krishna book. And Jayananda told us that Prabhupada said, if you just go on chanting Hare Krishna, you will see pastimes that you never read in any of my books. So very, very nice combination, Vrindavan and then Dwarka, Mathura. And now from that perspective, we can maybe start to appreciate the pastimes in Vrindavan. Because those pastimes are, this is so intense, so fine, that we have to become very, 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 very purified. Prabhupada said, go to Vrindavan Dham and stay as long as you can. Control your senses. But if you start to lose control of your senses, get out. Yeah. So we visit. We become tourists. We carry there with certain way. A Kurava could stay for some time. Uddhava could stay for some time. Kaliya could stay for some time. Different demons, different people. Even Rohini apparently was staying for some time, like that. So a little presentation here under protest about the Krishna book, which we've been studying this week, and how it takes us beyond liberation. So any questions or comments, anybody?
Maharaj, you said Krishna is a little different or difficult than Allah and Jehovah. So other than what Vrindavan pastime, there is any other difference?
Oh yeah, I mean, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Tetragrammaton, Adonai. There's there's so many different names for the supreme person coming out of the Middle East. You know, our this whole industrial society, you know, pretty much was connected up with Christianity at some point, and Christianity, especially the Protestant thing, very much is tied into the idea of working hard, putting the profits back into the business. You know, so this philosophy of who we are, because business doesn't tell you that, science doesn't tell you that. You need some perspective. You know? So of course there's Nirvishe Shunyavad, and science can be this totally impersonal thing. You and I are atoms and molecules, you know, but it's not very satisfying, you know. So people in different ways seek for some kind of philosophy, some kind of immortality. James Bond never dies. He just keeps on reincarnating. You can see how many people have been James Bond, you know. But it goes on. It's the same, you know, okay. So the idea is there, struggling to achieve it in different ways. You know? And so the whole Christian religion that comes out of the Middle East with the Egyptian perspectives, what do they call the other guys? I can't remember where they are now. They're up on the other side around there, three big civilizations. And somehow or other, people think the Jews actually got monotheism from a different source, way back behind Alhambra, Alcazar. And a lot of it was worship of the sun. Al meant the sun, but it was more like as a representation of a supreme divinity, you know. So anyway, this whole philosophy culture coming out of the whole Christian tradition, and you know, and the Muslims and the Jews are from the same, from Abraham. Abraham branches in two families, and one line becomes the line of the Muslims, other line becomes the line of the Jews, and of course the Christians come out of that. And so these names, you know, what are they referring to when we say Krishna, when we say Narayan? The philosophers say what it refers to as qualities, you know. So I forget, Allah, Jehovah, I think one means all just and one means all merciful. So these, even the 100 names of Allah, they refer to as qualities: all just, all powerful, all fresh, like that, you know. So generally speaking, my experience, I mean, you can say, even when people say Bhagavan or Narayan, many times what they're saying when they think of Jehovah, it's a combination of Mahavishnu and Yamaraj. Oh, Jehovah, he will chastise you, he'll send you to the hell, he will reward you. So this is Yamaraj. Oh, Jehovah, he's the creator of everything, like that. He's the gigantic watchmaker. And he protects people in this world, and then you give him good gifts, and when you die, you go to heaven, whatever that is. So who is that for us? Who creates this world? Who rewards you and punishes you? Who protects you in it? And who's in charge of the place when you die? Who is that in our language, our culture? It's not Krishna.
Mahavishnu and Yamraj.
Yeah. And also maybe Narayan.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Jehovah's Witnesses, you see, they have drawings and pictures of heaven, right? Have you seen some of those?
Yes, Maharaj, I have some patients who bring
Have you seen
magazine.
God? Have you seen God in those pictures?
No.
Yeah. Sometimes he's there, but he has a very, very simple robe, covered with light. There's no buttons, no ornaments, and his face is usually a white light, like that. Sometimes, usually he's not there directly, you know. And Jesus Christ is not there, but Grandma and Grandpa are there, and the dog and the cat. And we're having a barbecue in the backyard, and there's a lion sitting down with a lamb, you know. And I swear, one of these pictures, there was a television antenna on top of the house in heaven. So, I mean, what in heaven there's was a Hulu, what a Hulu. Heaven means, you know, free Hulu, you know. Yeah. I don't mind being in another womb as long as I have Wi-Fi for 9 months. And my mother eats good things like that. Yeah. Yes. The mind. So that's, I think, their conceptions. It's just Yeah, but there are different things. There are higher aspects there. You can find them, and when people start coming in contact with the Bhagavatam and this whole tradition, then it starts to stimulate them. They see, oh, this is the same thing. And I mean, there are many academic studies of, Shama Sundar and this manifestations within. That was Dora Basan, Divyavani. That was her whole PhD, her whole thesis for San Marcos University. That it comes down through the Greeks, through the Europeans and Flanders to South America. There are all these songs about a beautiful, darkish boy, pastoral scenes. And when he would play his flutes, the rivers would stop. The cows could not suck the milk from their mother's milk back. Same images were there, coming from Spain, from South America to Spain, all the way back to Greece. And it stopped there. And then when she came in contact with the Krishna book, she was just shocked, because then she found the same phrases that were being passed down like that, as all pastoral motifs and beautiful love, the cowherd boys and the girls, So there are many different lines of the Bhagavatam we can trace coming through Western culture. Also with Plato, with Koros and Kore, But usually speaking, most people, their consciousness is Yamaraj, the Yamadutas. What was their conception of God before they had Ajamil?
They said Yamraj was the god.
Yeah. And he wanted to tell them, but they didn't want to know. Like that. Yeah. How many times is Prabhupada trying to tell us something, but we don't want to know? Yeah. Sometimes he's telling us, stop beating on yourself. You're not a bad person. No. I'm bad. I'm evil. I did this. Yeah. I still have an objection to Vivek Narayan.
Where is he?
He's up against a blank wall there.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he's still in the blank. Oh, he's a
Many blank walls. Turn loose the monkeys. Turn your house into a Gurukula for 6 months with unlimited finger paint.
I could do what you did, with the background, just use a zoom to do magic,
That's what I have.
My background.
My artificial Yashokman. Yeah. I like listen, I have many Ashokvan pictures. Look on the internet. This is a very nice one.
Yeah, it's very nice.
There are very nice. You can look. It's an object of contemplation, and some of the pictures are just so nice. I will show you here, then I will stop. Okay. This is the pictures I've collected for making PowerPoint shows and everything else here. Yeah. I have a big gallery. Yeah. Okay. Can you see my pictures?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. I didn't make them bigger. Down here. That didn't work. View. Extra large icons. There we go. Here's some BBT pictures of 4 Kumaras. They're pretty big. There's Krishna. Okay. Here are all your Ashokvan pictures. Very nice. This one's very nice, very beautiful. It's the one I have on my screen. You've already seen that one. Yeah. What does it say? What's that say there? At the bottom.
सीता की खोज सीता की खोज में हनुमान ने पूरी लंका छान डाली.
What does that mean?
Hanuman ji was looking for Sita all over Lanka. अंत में, in the end, Ashok Van में, he found her Ashok Van. Shok Magna Sita के दर्शन हुए. So he found Sita in Ashok Van, was very sad at that time. हनुमान ने राम की अंगूठी प्रस्तुत कर अपना परिचय दिया. So Hanuman, he gave the ring that Ram had given him to give to Sita, and then he introduced himself. Sita आश्वस्त हुई, भविष्य के प्रति आशा जागी. So by doing this, Sita got a little encouragement that everything is okay.
Ah. This one's nice, huh? you like those pants? Rakshashi, several stylish pants here. Very good. Who could paint this? How could you paint this? And what is Sita looking at? Huh? What is she looking at?
Hanuman Maharaj. Hanuman, yeah.
Little guy. Okay. Little monkey. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. Yeah. This looks kind of Turkish, no? Hanuman looks like a little Turkish fellow. And that is very strange. Maybe when Arabian devotee did this. Yeah. And this is the one in the Samadhi in Mayapur. Yeah. Yeah. So very, very common Leela Smarna, Oh, that's nice. Who do you think did this? I'm thinking one painter we know did this.
Is Pushkar?
I'm thinking B.G. Sharma.
B.G. Sharma, yeah.
Yeah, because you see the tones and the clarity and that kind of stuff, Yeah. This is the one I have here now. Oh. Okay. And it's one devotee. Looks like it's very simple, but it's nice. Oh, it's a strange one. This has so many nice colors. This, I think, was watercolor. I think Sita's crying. Okay. Okay. So more and more. So what are we going to do for Janmashtami? What are we going to do for Radhastami? It's not too far away. Are we going to disappoint Radha Nilamadav? Radha Natbar? Radha Natbar?
Yeah. No, Maharaj, but you have what we did last year. We did through Zoom.
Yeah.
And so that I don't know.
We can all go to the forest and dress up like gopis. Our boys. Hide Easter eggs in the forest. Yeah. So anyway, nice festival coming. Rupa Goswami has an entire book called Sri Krishna Janmatiti, how to celebrate Janmashtami festival. And of course, if we do that, then we'll get superhuman power, like that. Yes, yes. So if you thank everybody, I had before this, I had 1 hour of improvisational class. Now I have another hour of improvisational class, and I haven't been able to drink any water. Then Dr. Singh was torturing me to run along the river together. So I haven't had any water for almost 2 hours now. Yeah. My face is starting to shrink. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. So see you tomorrow.
Okay. Shri Bhagwan ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. So, okay. Shriman, are you going to continue with the Dashavatara Stotra?
Okay. Nindasi yagna vidiraha shruti jata sadaya hridaya dashita pashugatam. Nindasi yagna vidiraha shruti jata sadaya hridaya dashita pashugatam. Nindasiya ya vidiraha shruti jata sadaya hridaya dashita pashugatam. Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you. O Buddha of compassionate heart, decry the slaughtering of poor animals performed according to the rules of Vedic sacrifice.
Thank you, Sridhar, Sriman, and Vishnu Chan Prabhu. So, Amit, we are ready for nursing a prayer. Where is Rahana and Didyama? There they are.
Namaste Narasingaya. Namaste Narasingaya. Hiranyakashipo Vaksha Hiranyakashipo Vaksha Chinatankanakalaye Chinatankanakalaye Ito nasinga parito nasinga Ito nasinga parito nasinga Yato yato yamitato nasinga Yato yato yamitato nasinga Mahina singa rindaina singa Mahina singa rindaina singa Narasinga madhim sharanam prapade Narasinga madhim sharanam prapade Pavakara kamalavare Nakamadbhuta Singam Nanita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakare Kamalavare Nakarutashinga Narita Hiranyakashipu Tanuringa Keshavanita Nararupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev
कृष्णेश्वर भगवान की जय। हरे कृष्णा, हरि बोल।
Thank you, Anna and Dima. Let's unmute yourself and this is the most important part of this program. Vaishnav Pranam.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे